Honestly Open with Emeka Mezi. Self podcast. I really wanted to do a one person podcast by myself to continue to grow on things, and just a little bit about that. I think that like it's tough to get people on the same schedule and page and dream and vision as you, and you believe in something so deeply, but other people may not be on that same path or vision. So it's tough to get the people that you want or get them on the same page, and you're so passionate about it. It's like it's almost energy draining in a sense to try to get somebody to believe in something as much as you believe in it. So that's why I really wanted to start a self podcast. I was always thinking about it. I can't lie, my inspiration is Madeline Ardy. I love how she just comes on here and just talks about whatever's on her mind, and that's kind of the same thing that I wanted to do. And a lot of the stuff that I talk about, I'm like on social media a little bit. I'm on like TikTok. That's my most like loved app that I love. I'm like passionate about it for whatever reason, but it's a lot of like self-help and mindset. And I think that this thing has its mind of its own. Whatever resonates, honestly, is the more that you talk about those things, because people want to hear that, and that's kind of what goes about. But really, I wanted to talk about like mindsets and prayers and the things that we pray for, understanding like to keep it. And I think like with that, it's important that if we ask for something, it's more important for the wisdom to be able to keep it and to get it again. Because if you lose something and you know how to get it back, how confident are you going to be in yourself? And like that's the superpower. If I went out and I ran one-on-one versus a corner, I know how to get open, right? So it's like if anybody, Elon Musk, lost all of his money and all of his businesses, he would know how to get it back because he understands business. He understands science and technology and all these spectacular things. And I think knowledge is the most important power in the whole entire world. Like the knowledge of things. You know, I could become 300 pounds. I could lose all those weight in you know, however much time it takes me, because I understand the healthy habits of a person. I'm an athlete, and I know how to eat right. And I know how to be in a caloric deficit. So it's not about necessarily. I think it also allows for freedom to explore. You know, it gives you that sense of like comfortability because you know how to get back to wherever you once were, and that's most important because you don't have to always be comfortable in that one spot. You know how to get back to that spot, right? So if I left and I left everything and I wanted to completely become a traveler and a social media influencer and traveling, I know how to get back into sports. I can coach football. I have that skill. I have that, you know, knowledge. I can talk sports, and I know I can always get back to where I'm at right now. But that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of knowledge, because I have all that knowledge. I understand those things. I understand football, and I can always go back to that. And that allows for you to have the freedom to do other things in life. So that's why knowledge is extremely powerful, because it allows for freedom in a sense. People pay for knowledge. Money is time in a sense, and all those things are so intertwined into one. Your identity shift as well. And a lot of people say like the confidence comes from the like repetitive actions, and you built up a confidence in that, and then that's not who you are. I don't think that's the case necessarily, because I think that you can do all these actions and not believe truthfully within yourself that you are who you say you're becoming, and you can easily revert back to the mindset that you used to have. You know, because some people win the lottery and they lose all their money because their mind is not shifted. They don't understand it. They don't have the knowledge of money, or they don't have the self-worth of feeling like they're worthy of that money because they want it. And that's another trait as well. You could be, you know, unhealthy and overweight, and you have surgery and you lose all the weight, but your mind and your identity is still in somebody that is overweight. So it's not necessarily about attaining the thing as it is understanding how to get it and how to retain it more importantly. And the mind is the most powerful thing, because you can also not have something and also believe that it is yours. I read a quote the other day. I saw that you have to pretend to sleep before you fall asleep, and that's how life works. And how powerful is that? What's the truth in that? It's like you don't have to have the thing that you're wanting. You just have to pretend that you are it each and every single day. Before you know it, manifests into your life, because that is your new identity, and you continue to act accordingly to the ways of the thing that you're trying to attain. And that's the beauty of life in a whole. And it's a constant battle of psyching yourself out in order to attain what is not yours quite yet, and it's real. That's the most important thing, understanding that it's real. It's not out of reach. It's not unattainable. um yeah, I think there's so much beauty in that, like, if you're not fit, you're basically pretending to be fit. You're doing the things that a fit person does, and then before you know it, you look at yourself and you're fit. And that's so applicable into all areas of life. You act like you're wealthy. You do the things that wealthy people do. You invest, you save, you learn, you go to courses, you go to mentorships, and then before you know it, you're wealthy. And it's not pretending anymore. You're just doing the things that are done from wealthy people. If I want to do social media, I want to be a podcaster, I want to do Spotify, I want to do all these things, I'm going to act like I'm a podcaster. I'm gonna bring out the mic. We're gonna talk, and I'm gonna post this. I'm gonna post it again. I'm gonna keep posting no matter what happens, because that's what they do on social media. Also, I think, like, also the information is constantly being put into our face, but we're almost ignorant to do the things that are successful. We want to do it our own way, and that's like another problem that I think people have, and I have, is that sometimes we think our problems are so unique in that we can just do it our own way, and that doesn't have to be done this way. Now, I think that it's not about who's doing it, it's about what's being done. And in what's being done, that is where your authenticity is able to shine, and you're able to give that. Because I'm doing the thing that podcasters do, I'm doing the thing that social media people do, but in that is where my authenticity is, and that is where people are going to resonate, because I'm giving a portion of myself. But doesn't mean I'm not following the metrics of what they do. I have to maybe follow a certain hook. I have to show up every single day. I have to put myself out there, and those are the things that are done, so I have to do them. And not fighting the fight of thinking that I can just post one time and then I'm going to be successful. I've probably posted over 1,000 plus TikToks. I've made 5 different pages, and because I just really wanted to do this thing, and learning about that, it was not about the niches that I was doing. It was about the consistency of the work and continually to show up, because I posted maybe 1,000 videos before one of my talking videos got like 500,000 views, but I had to keep showing up for myself. That was the most important thing, because that's what they talk about. All the successful social media influencers are talking about that. And it's not just about my own life, but it's about everything that's said in these talks, these podcasts, these videos are completely transferable. I talk so much about football. I talk about the mindset of sports, but it's the mindset of life I've learned. Every single thing that I've learned through sports, I'm doing directly into social media. I wrote out all of my goals and ambitions that I used to have with football, and my exact habits, because I made it to the 1% of football. I made it into the NFL, and I constantly reflect on that, because that is something very, very hard to do. It is extremely, extremely hard to do. That's probably one of the hardest things to do in the whole entire world. Truthfully, to physically, mentally, and spiritually give yourself to a craft that literally in football can paralyze you, and it can you get hurt all the time. Like, that is one of the hardest sports to be able to go pro in. And because also it's a lot of it is not up to you. There's 22 bodies on the field at one time, and then not to account for all the coaches and people that are affecting the game in some certain kind of way, the refs. There's so many different things that can happen in one scenario. That's like the beauty of football, but that's the beauty of life. Like, football for me just showed me what life truly, truly is. You're not in control as much as you think, but I have to be able to control the controllables, because if not, you can mess up a lot of other people. You can mess up your own life, thinking that you're not in control, but you truly have a certain section of people that you're responsible for, and that's very important as well. It's just a lot of it has been very fascinating to see life shift. The more that I've been reading, the more that I've been learning about myself, the more that I've been trying to go deeper within myself, because the deeper I go within myself, the more I learn that I'm deeply connected with everybody else, that we're also intertwined in some kind of sense, and that success doesn't necessarily fill the gaping hole within my heart. It just keeps going. Success is not an end point. There is no end point. You're going to constantly want more. Tom Brady himself is going to look back on his career and wish that he won some of the Super Bowls. That's the greatest of all time. No matter who you are, you always truly feel like you could have done better, that's a struggle in itself as well. Not getting so rooted in our past accomplishments or failures, and learning that it's about the next, and being rooted in the things that we already do have and being grateful for that is also a struggle, because in this society, in this world, and in our lives, everything that's most important is about the next, the thing that's not out yet. People are so drawn to what's not out yet. You know, Frank Ocean, for example, has all these couple great albums, but we're constantly wanting the next thing. You know, the last isn't ever good enough. We always want the next thing. Drake has all these great albums, but it's about the next album. It's about the new thing. It's about the new thing that's going to make us feel a new way for a little bit until we're satisfied with that, and then we want the next one again. And that's the way it is in life, with work, with relationships, with our self-development. We get to a certain point and then we're like, okay, that was cool, but what's next? And that's a struggle in itself. You know, I think with my small journey of TikTok, and man, for so long, how bad I wanted 10,000 followers. For so long, I said, once I get to 10,000, like, that's it. I'm going to be so, I'm just going to be, of course, you hit 10,000. What's next? 25,000, right? What's next after 25? Okay, you want 50. Now you want 100. After 100, what are you going to want? 1 million. After 1 million, you're going to want 10 million. After 10 million, I want to be the best. I want to have the most. It's like, it's never ending. And that's where it gets a little bit scary sometimes, because you can get caught in that loop of not having enough. You know, you make a certain amount of money, and then it's about the next amount of money, and it's about the next best relationship. It's about the next best piece of clothing and item. But in life as well, it's not okay to be okay with what you had and hanging your hat on that. I'm not okay with just being a football player that went to the NFL and that was my story. I want to be able to be something that's more as well, and continue to push myself and to continue to figure out what's next for myself. But I have to also be grateful as well. But I'm not comfortable at all where I'm at right now, and that's a constant loop that we have to, I guess, just have a healthy outlet of taking space to relax and just take it one day at a time, and know that not every day is going to be our best, but at least showing up is enough, and at least showing up that we're continuously building trust within ourselves, because that's what's most important. I think also you can get to a certain point where you're comfortable and you're able to maintain a little bit. I think that's okay as well. I'm not trying to look like a bodybuilder anymore. I'm working out every day constantly, and I feel good with where I'm at, and that's okay. You don't necessarily need to be the greatest of all time. I'm learning, because with trying to become the greatest of all time comes a ton of sacrifice, and I think that, to what point are we trying to sacrifice what? Kobe talked about in one of his podcasts. He sacrificed time with his family and with his kids, and sleep, and his relationships would suffer because basketball was the most important thing. And I think about that in life in general. Like, it's okay not to be the greatest in every single area of my life. I don't want to be the greatest athlete. I don't want to look the greatest ever, because what comes along with that, a lot of mental strain. It's going to take a lot of time out of my day to meal prep and to do those things. And you know what? I think getting to a point where I have a solid foundation of information, with where we get to a point of having a solid foundation of information that is enough to be able to maintain us in a healthy state that is comfortable and that is healthy for our own self, that is also enough as well. Because I think sometimes it's hard to start, because we're looking to be the greatest. Like we feel like we need to completely just shift who we are and shift our identity and shift our mindset completely into something that's so unattainable. Like whenever we start playing basketball, we think we need to be Kobe, right? Like whenever we start working out, we think we need to be C-Bum or David Lade or these like crazy influencers. But in reality, we just need to find a healthy midpoint of understanding the information and understanding how to be healthy so that we can still enjoy the things of our life, but not allow it to consume us, because not everything needs to consume us. And it's okay not to have passions so much. Like personally for my life, I do need a passion. I do need something that consumes me. I do need some kind of fire to be able to give, because I think that's just like energy. I think if energy is never created nor destroyed, and the energy with football was never destroyed, it's still within me, and I have to be able to find a passion that I get up early and that I'm constantly thinking about this thing, and I'm constantly wanting the best for it and wanting to get better every single day, and I'm being consistent, and I'm failing and I'm winning, and I'm failing and I'm winning, and I'm getting better, and I'm constantly just climbing that ladder, because that energy is within me. Not everybody has that within them self, and I think that's also okay, but you also don't even need to be that to be successful as well. Some people, it just comes easy to them, and that's the challenge of life as well, is like figuring out what you're good at and playing to your strengths. You know, I watched a really good video on that. It's like not to be humble, like play to your strengths. More people are going to watch this if I talk about I was in the NFL and I played at NC State and I was all ACC and I had all these awards, versus I just kind of get on here and I just start talking about things and there's no credibility. And, you know, I think every single one of us has a story that is so impactful and can reach many people's lives. If that's the route you want to go with social media or talking out, or I don't know, even in business as well, using that to your advantage. Maybe you came from the dirt and now you're in a successful space. That's a selling point. Use those things. Don't hide it because it feels uncomfortable, because you're bragging about your success. I don't know. I think humbleness is like it's wanting to like put yourself in place in a sense, because and fit into the norm and fit into the comfort of everybody else and not stand out. And that's kind of like what they want you to do, is just to be stuck in that loop of just condensing yourself into like just a crowd. Yeah, shoot. Like I really, 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 really want to be great. I really do. Like I really, really do. I really struggle to continue to live a life that you have conversations you don't want, you're in environments that you don't want to be in, and you continually just wake up knowing that you're meant for more. That's one of the most painful things ever, knowing that you have so much potential, but you're just living to a comfortable life because that's what your parents want, that's what your friends want, that's what your girlfriend wants, and you live this whole life and you get back and you didn't take any chances, and you maybe even had success, but you never actually did what you wanted to do. I think that if I were to die trying to become great and I never got it, rather than being successful and comfortable in another space of life, I don't know which one I would be okay with. I think like trying to pursue a destiny, trying to pursue a passion is more like rewarding and fulfilling. It was the most fulfilling thing ever. And I think sometimes it's like a blessing and a curse with making it to the top and being actually in your passion. Like that is a blessing and a curse. It truly was, because I understand that mediocrity and settling for less, there is a life where you really do get up every single day and you truly do love what you do, and it's not a feeling that can be explained. I just know it exists, and that's the toughest part. Like that's a tough part about an athlete when they get out of it and then they're into the real world, and everyone in the world is just telling you, yeah, that's the way life goes. Like, yeah, life is just not that good. Life is just mediocre. Like, I say hell no to that. Life does not have to be that way. Just because you're done with something in a certain area of your life does not mean you're not able to be successful and to be passionate and to find that drive and that faith and that inner guidance within you again. No, life doesn't have to be that way. Maybe life was that way for you. Maybe you didn't reach out for the things that you wanted to do. Maybe you didn't work as hard or put yourself out there as much as you wanted to do. But I did. And I know what it feels like. And I know it's uncomfortable. And I know I'm going to fail. And I know people are going to see me fail. But that's okay. Because I want this. Because I'm passionate about it. And I'm willing to do the work. I'm willing to go to sleep late. I'm willing to get up early. I'm willing to study and research. I'm willing to lose friends and have relationships suffer because I'm trying to get to something that I want so bad. And the people that truly love me and understand that, they know that's okay too, because we've been through this together. We've been through the fasting and praying together. We've been through the rocky relationships and where I'm losing my mind over something. But that's okay, because the life that comes along with that is so worth it. A life where you completely put a piece of you, your soul, your passion, your drives into your goal, and you make it happen. There is nothing better in this world. I promise you, from the depths of my heart. I saw Izzy say it in his interview. I don't know exactly, but kind of around the words of kind of like going after it, and like this feeling that I feel, I'm able to feel it again and again and again and again. But I knew, right? Some people don't know, so they're kind of like, oh, that's so cool, right? They'll post it on ESPN. But no, I know what it's like to score a touchdown, right? I'm not just saying touchdown, right? We're gonna use that in like as a reference of just life, right? The best moment, the best feeling that you've ever had in your life, when you've given everything that you possibly can. You've sacrificed everything that you possibly could. You went to school because of this thing, and you've given everything that you possibly could, and you feel that feeling again and again and again. And with that as well, I'll go off on a little tangent about, with the highs comes the lows. And all of it is almost like a drug, truthfully. It truthfully is, because you get this high, right? Say it's social media, say it's business, say it's sports. You get the high of that $1 million mark. You get the high of that 1 million viewed post. You get the high of the 100-yard game and touchdown. But you also get the low of the 0-yard game. You also get the low of fumbling the game away. You also get the low of almost being bankrupt. You also get the low of a video getting no views, and now you're doubting yourself, whether you even know what you're saying or if you're good or not, enough or not. And that's a challenge in itself. And the most consistent prevail. The most self-determined, mentally strong and stable ones are the ones that prevail in life, because they're able to handle the ups and downs, and they're able to stay here no matter what happens. The Mamba's mindset, everybody talks about that. Oh, we love that so much. We love that so much, right? I love to think of it as somebody's career high is another person's average. Like, really think about that, right? Somebody's best is another person's average, because they're able to withstand that. They're able to withstand the average. They're able to withstand playing that well and then playing lower than that, but they understand that I'm still here. Like, this is my mark. This is my self-worth. This is my self-value. And no matter what, they're going to stay at this point. That's the difference. Because at the elite level, there's not really much difference, right? When I was on the practice squad, I'm seeing Drake London. I'm seeing these different guys playing in the third receiver. There wasn't much difference. But Drake London and the NFL starters are able just to stay right here. And the other guy is staying like right here. And he'll have a really good play, but then he'll have a really bad play. And that bad play just keeps him back here because of his mindset. He doesn't believe in himself anymore. And the other guys are able to stay here because they believe in themselves. It's not as much about talent. It's not as much about what you're doing. It's about your mindset. That's what separates the people at that level. Because it's all the same. All of this is the same. Just how much are you willing to execute at a daily level, man? And yeah, it's about being consistent today. Like, it's tough. Like, I see another monster of YouTube. I see another monster of Spotify. I see another monster of all these different things, but it won't happen if I don't start. It won't happen. It won't happen. I can guarantee you. You know, you can't write a goal of 1 million subs or $1 million if you don't start with one. That one is the most important. Really, I think two is the most important. Two is the most important. To start, okay. To keep going, that's another thing. Then three is the most important. Then four, then five, then 100. And then before you know it, you're looking behind you on a mountain of just knowledge. Like we talked about earlier, knowledge is the most powerful thing. Because all you're doing after you post and you post and you post and you learn what works and your cadence and you learn who you are as a person is knowledge. With anything in life, with starting a business, with failing a business, with failing on social media, with success, all of it's just knowledge and just learning what does and doesn't work, and how much am I willing to continue to do to trust in myself and believe in myself that it is going to work no matter what. Failure is inevitable, but success is also inevitable as well. How we're able to learn from past mistakes and trials and tribulations is what's going to determine on what's successful. It's an everyday battle. Let's do it.